Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in the month of June. In total I read 9.5. I'm planning on finishing the last one in the next day and a half. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into it. The first book I read this month was P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the second book in like the Lara Jean trilogy. I don't know what you want to call it, but if you don't know, the first one follows Lara Jean, who has loved 5 guys, and for each one she has written a letter, but when she's done loving them, she just writes this letter out, addresses it, puts it in a hat box under her bed, and one day all the letters get sent out and she has to deal with everything that happens because of that. I loved the first one. I have it in softcover, so I had to wait for the second one to come out in softcover because I wanted them all to match. And then she came out with the Always and Forever Lara Jean, which is still in hardcover, which it's beautiful in hardcover because it's got like the purple hardback when you take the dust jacket off, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But I like all of mine to match, so I'm going to try to wait it out, and if I can't, then I'm definitely just going to cave and buy the third one anyway because I really want to see how this is wrapped up. The next book I read is probably one of my favorites so far this year actually, and that is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli. This book is so good. It follows Simon, who is gay but he's not out yet, and he has been emailing with this boy Blue, and he doesn't know who Blue is, but they've just kind of been secretly emailing and he's been falling in love. And one day someone sees his email and says that he will out him unless he helps him fall for this girl or get this girl to like him or whatever you want to call it. So Simon's kind of stuck in this little struggle. And it's just a really cute story. I loved it so much. I really want to read The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli because this was just so phenomenal. The next book I read was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This book is probably also one of my favorite books I've read this year. I absolutely adored it. I finished it in one day, which is ridiculous because it's huge. But Rainbow Rowell has such a beautiful writing style, and I really liked how she captured like the awkwardness and anxiety that is going to college. Like, I absolutely adored it. And this book follows Kath, who writes fan fiction for a Harry Potter like series about this guy called Simon Snow, and I loved it. And it follows her like just going into her freshman year of college and like figuring out how to deal with eating in the cafeteria and going to her writing classes and trying to branch out into the world, and I just adored it. And Levi, I adore Levi. He is just my sweet little crush. I just adore Levi. His character is hilarious, and I really like that he takes such a strong interest in her fanfiction writing because I think it's really important to support your friends' things, even if it's not normal to write fanfiction or if it's not as popular of a thing to do. So I really recommend reading Fangirl. Next, I somehow like marathon the crap out of all of these, and that would be the Shatter Me Trilogy plus the little like novella book. So in that you have Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Unite Me, which has Destroy Me and Fracture Me in it, all by Tahara Mafi. This was addicting. This was book crack. I finished these all in about like 3 to 5 days. I honestly don't remember. It was such a blur. But if you don't know, Shatter Me is about a girl who has been locked in this like insane asylum for a really long time. I don't even remember specifically how long, but she has been in there because her family didn't really want her around because if you touch her, you will die, basically. She has like this weird kind of power ability thing that will like basically like steal the life out of you almost, kind of. So basically they shunned her from the real world and she was put in this insane asylum. Well, then there is like a whole nother revolution kind of deal going on where like a different kind of government is happening since she's been in here, and it's terrible, and the terrible people want to use her possibly as a weapon, and it's just crazy. And I don't want to say too much because I read all of them, so it kind of blurs together, but I really liked this. And the men, I really loved Adam in the first book, but by the end I had a different ship and you need to read them if you haven't. It's a really good like dystopian kind of series, if you will. Like if you like Divergent, you would definitely like this series. Next, I read Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This book was okay. I mean, it was probably on the lower spectrum of the books that I've read this month. I mean, even though it's short, it took me so long to get through. I felt like I was reading this forever. I've never had to read this before, so I read it for the first time. It was one of my best friend's favorite books, which is weird because she's not a reader, so I was like, well, maybe I'll just give it a chance. And it was okay. I mean, I felt like the first half of the book was really, really boring, and I didn't really like it that much, but by the second half of the book and the ending, I was really, really stunned with it all, and I'm still thinking about the ending of this book. Like, I can't even explain to you how I feel about that moment because it was ridiculous, and I don't know. I can't imagine what it would be like to come upon this island and figure out everything that happened, and it's ridiculous. After reading Fangirl and like dabbling a bit in the Simon Snow world, I obviously had to pick up Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This book was kind of also slow for me to get into, but I really, really loved it once I got into it. It follows Simon and his adventures at his last year of school at Watford, which is similar to Hogwarts, and yeah, I ship this. I ship this so hard. Simon and Baz, 5 ever. And also, let me tell you about how much I hated Agatha. Like, she was the most annoying character. I really wish she wasn't even in this book. Everything that she said or did just bothered me so much, and like, I can't deal with it. Like, Penny is great. Obviously, Baz and Simon are the bee's knees, but Agatha, please leave. I don't want you in this. Just go. Go away. But if you haven't read this, I recommend reading Fangirl first, but this book, I think you would be fine without it. It just was kind of hard to get into because I felt like there was this whole world that was already there, but I didn't know about, just because it is technically like, you know, his last year there and all this stuff, and you don't get to read like the previous stuff. So I don't know, it was still really good, but it would have been nice to like have the whole build-up of the world and his schooling and all the other adventures that he got to go on. And the last book that I have read, aka am going to finish by the end of this month, is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series. I feel like this is another book that I have been reading forever, but it's pretty good. I like it better than the 4th book. It definitely has a lot more intrigue for me in it, and I'm still currently debating about how I feel about Sebastian. I am 383 pages into the book, and there's like 530, something like that in here. So I plan on just marathoning this either tonight or like tomorrow morning. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. Also where City of Heavenly Fire is gonna go, because I want to know what they're plotting. I want to know like what's gonna happen. So I didn't think I would like this as much as I would, just because I grew up with like the first 3 and like that's what it was, and then all of a sudden years later, boom, you got more, and I was just unprepared for it all. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this goes, and everybody adores the ending of these, so I'm hoping that I'm on that train as well. Plus, I really just want to get into the other books. Like, I just need to finish Mortal Instruments so I can read the Infernal Devices and I can read the Dark Artifices, because everybody raves about the Dark Artifices, and I feel like I'm just standing outside the window like, hey, I'm not there yet, but I'm glad you love it. So hopefully I can get there soon. I'm ready. Alright, that is it for my June wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!